Journey through the woods with me and see what truth resides. Changing all the facts, revealing both sides. Hitting and flipping and dipping the booth, cruising through the woods, revealing the truth. I see you.
You've been through a lot of shit.
I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that because, like, as much as this, that, and the next thing, I think it's also taught me a lot. Going through different kinds of experiences of trauma, and it teaches you. One is like how to help people and heal people, and two, like three things. And two, it teaches you like how to be a better person yourself. Especially if you've been through abuse from other people, it teaches you about not to do those things, and not only not doing those things is the third thing, but is to see in other people the abuse. Because a lot of times you can't unless you've directly experienced abuse, you can't tell if your friend is an abuser or somebody, because they're treating you differently to how they're treating other people. And sometimes it's harder to tell. I think, and on that note, especially, I'll say this, with the whole the environment in South Africa, there is a big epidemic of sexual assaults and things like that, and in all industries as well. I won't lie, I have myself. I was raped by a woman in the film industry.
Oh, jeez,
yeah,
no way.
Yeah, so that gave me a lot of context, because also when we think of rape, often a lot of times we think of the most violent forms of it, where it's fighting and this and they're beating and this. Majority of the times that is not. Often you're being drugged. Right, and then you don't know where you are, what's happening the next day. You don't even know that if this person did you with it, but you're feeling the hurt, you're feeling these weird things, and you're getting momentary flashbacks of what's happening. So it's very important to notice that, and also especially with communities that are all creative and cultural, because there's also now a lot of substances that are going on, right? Because people like to have a good time, but then you have to make sure that the people that you're having a good time with aren't taking advantage of other people, or taking advantage of you sometimes that you might not notice. Under the influence. So, and I even have a song called Under the Influence.
Is it out yet?
No, sorry, that one I'm still working on. But I've got a lot of things.
Sure.
So, but then, so that's. But I'm honest about that, and it's important to talk about this and to also
and bring awareness,
and also to confront your friends as well.
Because
especially I've noticed in social situations. I recently I'm not going to say the name here, but there was somebody that I worked with in different things, and they did certain things, and and I saw them do certain things, and so at a certain point, I said, I can't associate you, and I told everybody that I knew that knew them. And here's the interesting thing. The second I told those people, they all started coming out with different stories and saying, I knew this or this or that. But this person's going to lie or something, and that's what I've noticed. So we all convince each other, we all let this stuff happen by saying, and because it's a social thing and not in the life, so you've got to be able to just confront things and say it, and then you'll notice other people will follow suit as well. And that's both with physical things and social things. You have to be able to. And whether regardless of whether something is a mistake or whether something is intentional, speak it out. Even because if somebody makes a mistake, right, and then doesn't take accountability for that mistake, that's not a mistake. Because now you're choosing not to take accountability for it. If you made a mistake and you say, I made a mistake,
you should be accountable.
But also then you learn from the mistake. So that's important. And obviously none of us are perfect people, but that's the point, is to look out for the abusers and also to not condone stuff, because there's a lot of things that have been accepted that are just not
that
right.
We make normal, but it's not
really standards, and respect and all these different things. So it's I think it is important to be able to have these conversations.
How you speak to people, how old were you that time that incident?
That incident happened. I was 19.
19, bro?
Yeah. I was. It was just before I turned 19, so I was actually 18 at the time.
So what? Sorry to ask you this kind of question. Were you trapped?
Yeah, I was trapped. Yeah. So the situation was scary, but I don't mind going into it. And I'm thankful everything is fine. It would have been a much worse scenario. But there was, and I'll talk about the cultural things and how you respond to things afterwards. But what happened basically was that I can remember, because I don't remember most of it. But I was sitting at a table, and then I was having a drink, and then they across from them there was people well dressed, and they were a little bit older than me, but they were all sitting there, and they were you look lonely, but you look cool, don't you want to come hang with us? And I was okay, yeah, sure. And then the lady was like, oh, I'm gonna buy you a drink. So I'm like, okay, wait.
But you don't know the time of day.
Yeah, and they were talking about like film and stuff. So meanwhile, I'm staying here because I'm like shit. Also, I was working a side job at the time, and I'm like, I'm an actor. I've got like scripts and stuff. And like, I can like,
something is out there.
I'm chatting up. I'm talking about the film industry, just then the next thing. And then from some point, I don't remember anything. I just remember like that it kept on like saying like, oh yeah,
Another drink.
like it wasn't even another drink. It was just finished this drink because. But I just remember getting like, I'm like looking at this thing. I'm like, I'm only like it's a black label drug. I'm looking at this thing. It's not even like halfway, and I'm like, I'm really passing out at this point. Next thing I know, I'm like, I can't come back like awake. And I'm in a car, and the car's moving, and she's literally pouring this drink down like,
oh shit, bro.
You know, and then like.
Oh, the next time
and then from there, and then from there, like, it was a really scary situation. I'm not gonna go into like details after that, but like. The fucked up thing about, let me tell you about the cultural thing is after that experience, when I got home and I was staying at a house share, and I told the people that were there about it, and they were guys, they were like, because it was a lady and stuff, they were kind of like, no, God, why are you and I'm like thinking like, you know, like, I was scared like for my life. You know, and this is like, you know,
because
and their reaction, and like, I don't know this lady, you know what I mean?
And you don't know.
I do remember afterwards. There was photos of kids on the wall.
Oh,
not only that, but then like, and I couldn't get home because that time like my phone was getting stolen and that's why I didn't save it. So I went out, but I was just up the road from where I stayed, the bar, right? So I left my phone at home. So
you're not really that far from where you stayed?
She was far though.
No, I'm saying when you met them.
When I met them, I wasn't far at all. I literally like just walked up the road. So then. And like that's the only way I had.
So I'm sure you're even feeling more safe because you're like, this is my neighborhood.
I was so, and that's the thing. And then like years, like I think 2 years later, I went to a film company and they were like, you know, we want to hear scripts and stuff. And I was chatting to this guy, like, great. And I'm walking and we were walking down. He's like, oh, and let me introduce you to my wife. And it's that lady.
Oh shit! You lied.
I'm not lying. And I was going to do work with them, but I never did. You know, I never did.
Oh. Right, so like the time that you were there and you see her and she sees you, what went like?
I had like, for me, I had like flashbacks and like sweats and like I was like, oh, nice to see you guys.
Did she recognize you?
Yeah, I'm sure she did. Like because obviously like and her eyes went wide, but she was like, you know, and then she smiled at us.
But then, how did you know that?
What do you mean?
Like.
Oh, because it wasn't just no. So this wasn't. I was like. Okay, so it happened like first she was doing stuff with me when I wasn't conscious. Then I woke up, right? Yeah, then I woke up, and then like she started like asking me all sort of questions like, do you know who you are? Like, or how do you like?
How did you get here?
And like literally, and I'm like, no,
and she's a grown woman.
Yeah, no, good. Like she was like at least like maybe like, you know, late 30s, early 40s or whatever.
Shit,
and she's got kids, bro, and I'm like, so I'm like. No, I'm like, can you just like get me? I'm literally, because I've got money, but I don't have like a phone or anything. I'm like, can you please just get me? Like, I don't know what's going on. Can you please just get me like a thing home? And I'm like, she's like, no, I'm not gonna get you a thing home unless you fuck me.
Oh, did she say that?
I literally said that, and now I'm thinking like, what, like, you know, like what the fuck is going on? Like, and like, I don't even know what's already happened before this, but like, thankfully, and like all the things, like, and so I literally had to like, and I had like a fucking, thankfully I had a fucking condom on me at that.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, but you didn't say
I had one, and like I could barely, the thing is I could barely even fucking like, you know, because I'm not like,
you look hard.
I'm like, it's like there, but I'm not like,
you know, to say that like, this page.
So I literally, I'm like pretending, I even pretended to fucking like come, and then the worst part about it wasn't even that, it was like afterwards stuff, she's like lying on top of me, she asked for like, she's like, no, can I just like lie here? But like, you know, when it's not somebody that you like, it's not cuddling. It's a different thing.
And
it feels like somebody possessing over
like a cologne or a perfume. That smell is just something that makes you
So it really gave me like anxiety because like I could barely like breathing. You see what I'm saying? You guys are getting it. Like it's not and so that's why it gave me a lot of context as well in terms of, because one like there's a thing called hypno. Right? There's a drug called Rohypnol, and they use it a lot. Yeah, they use it a lot in South Africa.
It's called what?
Rohypnol.
Oh, Rohypnol.
Yeah, it's like a date rape drug. You know?
Guys, watch out for Rohypnol.
They can put that in your drinks, and they do, and there's all sorts of other things as well. And not only that, but also things like, you know, whether it's party drugs or all sorts of things, you know, and then they take advantage of you.
Bro, lucky they only wanted to have like a sexual encounter with you.
Yeah.
Do you know that people can take it far?
No, I know exactly, and that's what I was worried about as well, because like, you know, I had no idea where I was, you know, and I didn't even know if I was going to get home. You know,
you see, that's what I'm saying.
But I think, here's what's worse, right? Is that I'm not the only person that she did it.
Yeah, so which means there's more.
And I know one of my friends that she tried to do it too, so it's not something that's once. You know.
Bro, did you ever report to it?
Well, the thing is, during that period of time, like I did report it, but how these kinds of things work is like I think a lot of, and that's one of the things that like, you know, about sometimes the Justice Department can have these issues, but like often with like a lot of sexual offense cases, like only after a second offense. So if you make a report, then they take note of it. But if like you report again, or somebody else comes in and reports, then they can.
Then they can do it.
So often, like even if you just like.
So like, someone from like maybe a parent or guardian had to go and report again.
No, it just has to happen again. Second offense. It's a second offense.
But it's not a second report.
No, well, yeah.
So that person has to
have a second offense, like oftentimes, and well, at least that's how it was explained to me, because like and that's and the thing is, sexual assault is a big thing, so that's
insane.
And that was
very wrong.
It was unconsensual sex. I did not want to have sex.
And
I did. Like I didn't come, but like that. Right. It was a horrible experience. You know. But with this thing, with the other times, it's like in sexual assault, like you know, all sorts of people, there's guys, like it's ladies, like in parties or things like that. You know, people like take advantage, you know. And I think one of the biggest things is sometimes I've noticed, like with alcohol, and sometimes if you do it too much or do too much of anything, like you get too inebriated, you find yourselves in these environments where you aren't aware that this person is giving you so many these different things. They're like giving you free this, free that, free this, and then. But they're using you. They're abusing you. You're finding yourself passed out with them, or like what's happening. And it's like, oh no, wait, hang on. This person's not just being nice to you. Every time you see them, it's social, it's happy. But meanwhile, if they're doing things to you, they're harming you. I'm not going to be more explicit than that, but that's a reality. So, and I know plenty of and then more so it happens to women. You know, I know a lot of women like that are my friends, you know, female, and not just women, but females, you know, more so than males. But anybody's affected, you know, any gender, any sex. But it is a big thing, you know.
Yeah, it is a big thing.
There's a party communities.
There's a lot that's going on, eh?
Yeah, you know, and it's always good to just be worried that. And the other thing is, it's people in positions of power as well that you have to look for, because it's like, you know, even if it's unintentional, in isolation, when we have these like power dynamics of like, because this person provides opportunities, I can't say anything to them. You're actually doing that person a disservice, because then they don't know what they're doing as well. And so we need to be able to have a more like open relationship with all the people that are in power within any field, whether it's the arts or whether it's politics or whether it's sciences or whether it's sports or whatever, whether it's, you know, so we need to be able to have a better relationship with that, so that like people aren't, you know, unaware of the effects of, you know, abuse of power. You know.
Jeez, wow. Yo, guys. And sorry about your experience. But what I wanted to ask is, like, does it have an effect now, like in your relationship, like when you in a sexual encounter? Does like any flashbacks?
Yes, I have had flashbacks before. I have. That was horrible.
During the one.
Yeah. So what happened was, it wasn't like but flashbacks like can happen if you put into a similar situation, right? It doesn't have to be the same thing, but it can be physically similar. So what happened was, I was with somebody that, like, you know, I really like respected, really, really beautiful lady. I actually never wrote a song about it. She's really great, and we're still friends. But like, you know, at this period of time, the only reason things fucked out was because I wasn't like, it was after that experience. I wasn't in the right space. So she was like lying on top of me in the exact same position that lady did. You know what I mean? And there's no problem with that. Like, if I had like processed it, but I hadn't processed it, and like, so actually I just got cold sweats, and like was like, and I was thrown back to that place, and then now all of a sudden I'm thinking about all the memory, everything that.
And you tell her, right?
No, I couldn't. You see, that's why, and that's why it was awkward and stuck up, because I couldn't tell. I didn't know how to like, you know, express that to them. You know, because also I didn't want them to feel weird, like as if
they made you feel.
Because it's not them that make you feel proud, feel like I've the latest experiences. But thankfully, I have done, you know, I had experiences and like, you know, been
Jeez, bro.
But I do think it has definitely given me context.
Have you had this kind of experience, right? Because you're a musician as well, right? You know, you go to gigs.
Yeah, no. I'll be honest, I've never encountered such. He's right. Usually, especially this nightlife. Because obvious when you're out, you're expecting a good time. So everything that comes with it, you try to convince yourself it's still a good time. Even if it's now turning a left, you still in your mind you still
But you can see, this thing.
Yeah, but sometimes you start to recognize when it's too late already, or when it's happened already.
Exactly, for sure. And it's and this is unfortunate that happened to me, but it's often only like because that shit has happened to me, I can see it when other people can't.
Before it even
And that's why I said I'm not friends with certain people anymore, because I see the way that they move and I see, you acting like something.
You need to cut them.
So you know why I asked? Why I asked if you open the case is in my mind I'm thinking, right now wherever she is, she's still doing the same thing.
She is. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I don't like drama, so I'm not gonna mention the name. But they are still there, still operating.
And still the same place. That's super scary and that was how many years ago?
That was around 2021, 2022.
That's recently.
No, but like how many years ago?
Yeah.
It means since 2021, bro, till today. How many more kids has she encountered?
And my
or
friend,
other chicks.
also, when they encountered my friend, they were younger than me at the time. So when it happened to them, so
Yo, that's scary, bro. But what you just said, it speaks to, this thing that's going on right now, the Epstein file. It's like, I don't know, but it's like these people in a position of power, they've got a thing with, like abusing power.
Right, or like power, right?
I don't know.
As long as you have that power to control.
Yeah. And look, I think it is the systems themselves, because if something happens, like, if it was just like one person, right, or like, then I would say like maybe it's the abuse of power, like this person is just abusing us, we can point it out on that person. But the thing is, it happens, and within every industry, right? Within the creative industry, within the financial industry, within the scientific industry, within the academic industry, the education, within healthcare, within everything. There is abuse when it comes to power, and I don't think it is because that people are abusive or when they get power, but I think it is actually to do with the way that our systems operate. And I'm not going to say whether something should be capitalist, communist, or whatever, but all I will say is that the main fault in the capitalist system exists within the word itself. Capitalize, right? So that means that we do not both get equality of an exchange. There is no equal
one must capitalize
on the other. So that's the point of capitalism, right? So and the reason why, and that's why if you look at, I think it is great what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso.
Yo, shout out to Ibrahim Traore. Well, not shout out, but big respect.
Respect, brother.
Respect to what they're doing there, because, and it says a lot, because a lot of them are dependent on our resources and the exploitation of it. And that's not just within these bigger economic fields. We see it within art. This is why I say it's the systems, because you see it within, like, the big people in the film industry are doing weird things, or the big people in healthcare are doing weird things, or the people in education are doing weird things. And the reason why is because the system works like that too, where the point is, like, for you to capitalize, for you to become at the top of a capitalist system, you need to be okay with screwing other people, essentially. So that's why there needs to be changing things. And I think, BRICS is potentially good. I won't say, obviously, all things have their problems. But I think, things need to change, and one of the biggest things is like with the US, the US.
I don't know what's going on, but everyone is talking about petrol.
Yeah, it's because of this exchange between the US and Europe. Because now and you will see the next coming month, fuel prices will go
And
up.
then you must check this. If fuel prices are going up, everything going up, we do it.
Yeah, but the problem why I hate this situation at all is because it benefits those who created it. So you see now, when the petrol prices go up, and then when everything gets back to normal, the petrol prices they stay there. So now if it's from 12 to 17, yeah. So now if we start buying 17 rand a liter because of the situation, when that situation is ended, petrol prices are not going back to 12, 11. No, they stay there, and now everything else must adjust to that.
Yeah, but then but pay is not adjusting. So
Except pay. You see,
pay will never adjust.
Especially like with Gen Z, me being a Gen Z, I don't like, I don't like it affects you.
Big time.
Big time.
Right, and then
You have a monthly paycheck, and you've got a consistent monthly salary, and you still cannot afford things. Like how can rent is exponentially high.
Crazy high.
Buy food, by then now you're saying the petrol price is rising.
So everything goes up.
And even so, that's the thing. People my age, unless you come from like a wealthy family, and this is something we do have to speak about. A wealthy family or a different background, you have to work 3 or 4 jobs
just to get
right
by,
now,
not to live comfortable, just to get
Right
by.
now, like people who are suffering right now is the youth. Sure.
And they feel it the most. They
always
feel
throughout
it the
history,
most.
because we can talk about some interesting statistics.
Sure, let's go.
Like, and I'm going to say some interesting stuff here, but hear me out, because everybody makes a very big point of respecting your elders, right?
Sure.
And I do believe in that. I do. Right, and up to a certain extent, I believe that statement has also been used to, abuse the youth, because statistically, right, and still to this day, majority of people who were born will not reach the age of 21, right. Majority of people who are born die before they become an adult. Right, majority of the people that have ever been born have not become adults. So it is a big privilege to become an adult, right? And yet we disrespect children on the daily, on the regular, whether it's through the education system, whether it's through at-home abuse, whether it's through all these different things, and look at how many rich old people there are that are not benefiting the world around them, but are hoarding money and are doing all these different things, and we say, and not only that, but abusing children, abusing the lives of children, their wealth and their welfare comes off of the backs of impoverished people that die. If we talk about what's happening in Congo, there are people dying, on the daily, so that we can have a phone to record.
Yes.
And the thing is, we have to be a part of this, so let's be thankful to all these things and aware of them and speak about them.
Free Congo.
Yeah, free Congo.
Free Congo, guys.
So that's where I think we need to look at the children. We need to look at the youth. We need to look at the.
That's why they always say, listen to the children. Shout out to Ricky Ray.
Yeah.
Listen to the kids. Listen to the kids.
And the kids have a lot to say.
They've got a lot to say. They feel a lot. If you
And they
check,
see a lot.
Like growing up, we saw this stuff. We heard our parents talking about, whether it was the past things or the present things or the things to come. And we see the connection. We've got the access to information. The difference now is that it's here. You know what I mean? And we have it from multiple sources, right? You might not get it from multiple sources, but we have it from right? So and that's a benefit, that we don't have to because a lot of things that there are old generations that they're things that they believe that are just not right. They're just not true. And belief is very important, because the way you believe it affects the world around you, it affects your biology.
And another thing, what I was about to say is, when you're young, you're not conditioned to anything.
You are neuroplasticity.
Like you're just free spirit. But then adults are conditioned.
Yes.
So they try to. So what I'm saying is they should be listening to the kids, because we feel more. We are more free. We are more open-minded. We are more. Definitely. We are more sensitive. We are more we should be listening to listen to the young generation, guys. Yes, the older generation is leading us. They've set the rules already, but we must follow those rules. So listen to
exactly. Because also there's another thing we'll go on the only constant in life is change, right? So it's kind of naive right? Do you think that the same thing is going to work continuously?
It's not.
It doesn't, so things need to change, and with that, comes everything should be respected. Respect is a two-way street.
Thank you.
So the notion of it is I think of course respect your elder, but do not respect your elder if your elder is not respecting you. You know what I mean? If you're being disrespected. Respect is a two-way street. You can't. That is not because then it's not respect, it's fear.
Thank you.
And I think it is important to respect the government, respect laws, respect and it is to be fearful of them. But it's hard to. You cannot respect people that where there's no respect coming.
Definitely.
And
it's a two-way street.
And it comes back to kids when it's not just about the sexual abuse, right, or the physical abuse or whatever. It's also about the educational abuse, right? Because now a lot of kids, right, are pushed through these education systems that are just sending them into, change of command.
Actually, the education system we've got in the world right now is just to produce more workers.
South Africa is better, but still we're not there. But it is
still
it's just to produce more workers, more people,
and create division. The biggest thing is because for me, right, I'm division is because we our education is, even though it seems because in high school you get all the different subjects and stuff, it's still very isolated. We don't really talk about the connections between those subjects, and there's a reason for it, because in the work as well, everything is specialist oriented, right? They want people to become specialists, and the reason for that is because then it's easier to control. Because if you specialize in something and you only see the intricate, small details of what you're doing, you don't see the bigger picture as to what that's being used for. And that's why both scientists, artists, writers, any great minds of any generation are always at the mercy of their funding, always at the mercy of the people in power. Einstein and Oppenheimer's equations were used to make nuclear bombs. A lot of great artists during the Stalin era and in Nazi World War II, made.
But they needed funding from the government.
You see, so they're at the mercy of the funding. Leonardo Da Vinci, making stuff for the church, but he was a gay man, So it's you see what I mean? And a lot of the paintings he hid messages.
Oh wait, but since we talk about gays, man, I don't know. I think you know about this as well. You heard about this movement.
Heard about
Hitler, but it's a gay.
Oh, I don't know about that now.
Nah, I don't know. And I'm not speaking on that.
I know. I think he did have a wife, but I don't know.
Oh wait, no, not yet. You know what they say? No, forgive me, Carl. I heard it. They say the most powerful men, these most powerful men, they've got micro penises.
Oh, okay.
But
sorry.
they've got micro
Sorry, I'll take it back. I would totally agree with that.
On that one, I agree. Okay, I don't know, but
I'll take it back.
They shouldn't call it a dictator. They should call it a little dictator. A little dictator.
Small dictators out there, bro, causing problems for the world. Yeah, so they actually say that, if you check the most evil people the most people who are depicted to be evil. I'm not saying they are evil because I never lived in those times. But the most people who are said to be evil, most of them micro
small things.
Penises. So I think they say that's what made them so angry at humanity and other stuff. But I love this.
This is nice. This has been nice.
Long one.
It is a nice chat.
Fuck your prejudice parades. Wipe that smug look off your face. No, you can't say I'm throwing shade if I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm a slave boy, not a chain. A slave boy, not a chain. I say it again, fuck your prejudice parade and wipe that smug look off your face. No, you can't say I'm throwing shade if I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm just slave boy, not the chain. I read down, we can visit genocide. I read down, turn the black light. I'm shining light on you, and everybody else that's you. I'm shining light on them. 21st century fashion, 21st century fashion.
Yes, we're back. Back and back.
The mask.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wind up, broken table.
Broken table guys, Max now is in full mode now.
Check it
Yeah.
out on all major streaming platforms: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, anything you like.
Yo,
Broken table, raw shot.
Broken table, rush
shout
out,
out.
guys.
We out.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning
Thank you
in.
guys for the conversation. It's been lovely.
Thank you. We had a good time. We let
Very
the
much for the
Shout out to all of you
future.
guys at home.
See you at the event.
Yes, here at the event. On the next one, we'll be talking more about the details of the event and like what's gonna be happening during that day, and the artist on the lineup and more.
And please don't forget about the name. We changed the name to Baby Step 2, Cruise in the Woods.
Cruise in the woods.
Thank you.
Yeah, cruising through the woods. We still,
Cheers, guys.
you know,
Shout out to everyone.
Easy.
Shout out.